So, hello and welcome to the fourth episode of Vantage Point. This is a webcast where we talk about burning issues and some hot topics in the field of human resources. And we interact with few of the best and finest minds in the HR field. Vantage Circle is an acclaimed AI powered SaaS employee engagement platform that delivers simple yet effective employee engagement solutions to global workforce. It is currently helping more than 600 plus companies to provide the best employee experience by using simple yet easy rewards and recognition solutions. They are organizing the Vantage Point to help HR community tap the knowledge and experience of top HR people in the industry and share thoughts on various burning issues in the HR field. For this fourth episode, we have a very interesting topic. The topic being moonlighting and the need to engage with the workforce with innovative tools. I think that's going to be it's going to be a topic which most people are going to be discussing over a period of next couple of years. And here we have a small a discussion which is will take about 45 to 50 minutes, and then a 10-minute discussion. We'll take questions from the audience, and then we will get cracking at the end of the session. So we have two eminent speakers. My name is Kaustubh Sonalkar. I am the strategic advisor with Vantage Circle. We have two eminent speakers, and we have the founder of Vantage Circle, Mr. Partha. Now, I'm going to take you through each and every, I'm going to introduce you to the guest of today for today. Vivek Anand, he's a seasoned performance coach who works with individuals and small businesses and helps them adapt the right HR practice. He has over 25 years of experience in education management and people development. Vivek is the principal architect, visionary, and executively responsible for strategy and services delivered at Business Enablers. Welcome to Vantage Point, Vivek. We have we have our second guest, Mr. Pandi Raja. He's the AGM with Segula Technologies. Correct me, Mr. Raja, if I've pronounced it right. Yeah, and Mr. Pandey comes with a competent professional background of about 15 plus years in the entire gamut of HR. He maintained impressive records of streamlining multiple HR processes and applicability-based HR expertise to accomplish strategic goals to develop organization culture and employee welfare in multiple IT, ITES, KPO, and IT infrastructure companies. Additionally, Mr. Pandey has been conducting HR knowledge sharing sessions on motivation, career guidance, and employee development programs in various colleges and companies. Welcome on board, Mr. Pandey.
Thank you. Pleasure to be here.
And last but not the least, we have Mr. Partha Neog, CEO and co-founder of Vantage Circle. With over 2 decades of expertise in product and executive management, Partha has a proven track record of scaling great businesses and was instrumental in developing and launching 99acres.com. He has gained deep insights into the employee engagement space through his expertise and with several companies in the HR department. He is a strong believer in being able to have an impact on the entire team. Partha's leadership at Vantage Circle is in itself showcases what he has delivered over a period of time. He is an HR tech leader. He is recognized by the HR tech company in Asia as one of the fastest growing recognition brands in North America and Australia. And while it is for him, it is Vantage Circle, which has benefited out of his entire experience. Welcome on this platform for the first time, Partha. We are happy to have you here.
Thanks, Kaustubh. No, I decided I should also join in one of the conversations. And this is an interesting topic for me also. I'm open to discussing this.
So we thought, it is great to have you because we get a CEO's perspective, we get an HR perspective, we get a strategist perspective, and I think it is going to be a very enriching discussion. So let me, without wasting any time, let me start with you, Vivek, and on the whole concept of moonlighting and why is it called moonlighting? It's a very sexy, it's a very romantic term called moonlighting, and then suddenly it is damaging the entire HR fraternity, and they've got sleepless nights. Can you just throw some light about your thought process around what is moonlighting?
Thank you, Kaustubh. Thank you for inviting me here. This is my second episode here. I mean, a long back we did something on performance management. I'm happy to be back here. Coming back to moonlighting, yes, it sounds a very sexy concept, and probably this is an attempt to develop more love in the people towards work. However, to be I do not see anything new in this. For me, this concept has been there since ages. Yes, in a very different segment. Yes, without the tag of moonlighting or whatever you call it. It was more of a need, it was more of a necessity. If we go towards the unorganized sector, aren't people doing two, three jobs together? They aren't doing the part-time jobs, they come from office, they do. And that's all acceptable because yes, those that organized sector, that unorganized sector has not been able to give them the kind of security, the kind of safety, and the kind of future vision, and they were made to toil hard to make the resources for the future. And then suddenly so when I started my career, I was also into that phase. Yes, though I was more of a happy go lucky person, so I never tried two three multiple jobs. I was happy with one. But yes, the dream was कि someday we get into an organized sector and the life becomes secure. We never even thought of, yes, it was not allowed as well, but I never thought of even getting into it. We made sense with everything. Ki fine, there is this 9 to 5 thing, after evening we have to come back and we are happy. Thanks to COVID, thanks to lockdown, thanks to work from home, suddenly maybe people have realized they have more work for time. They have more time for work, and that has opened up a whole new Pandora. You call it moonlighting. I'm sorry, my views would be a little against it, but yes, that's a reality. So I also do. I'm not aware how this term popped up and what was the lead or what was the genesis of it, but it still certainly came up as a good opportunity. And there are people who with both hands they grasp this opportunity and they're getting benefit of it. How long it will go, it is we are yet to see. There are so many last 3 4 years. If you see, a lot of these fancy terms have been coined. VUCA came, then something came, then something came. Moonlighting is next. Let's see how far it goes here. Anyways, companies are coming back to office, and it will be interesting to see how many companies actually allow this. We have done this with a couple of clients where we have actually allowed such gig assignments. Yes, with certain conditions, with certain thing. But yes, I mean, we see it as a strategy as well. You are into a career, what after it? And you can plan something, you can start something, and that is something acceptable. And we have incorporated into the laws and into the company's code of conduct. But yes, with the riders, I'm still doubt how far it goes without any riders or without anything, or what is the actual objective of it. In a way, company is allowing you because I cannot pay you much. Find out something else and earn your bread there. It's something as good as that. So I'm sorry, I'll keep my views a little limited there, but yes, I see it at that ways.
No problem. Thank you so much, Vivek. So, Mr. Pandey, how would you look at it? Because I think moonlighting, everybody has their own point of views.
Yeah.
What does it mean for you?
Yeah, thanks, Kaustubh. As Vivek mentioned, that moonlighting is not a new one. The process, in my experience, and when I was with core IT industry, some of the niche skill set when we are looking out for, we engaged with couple of freelancers, those who were working with the company part timely. They have done it. Probably now moonlighting is a buzzword. Now people are more engaging with other apart from their work. They are more focusing on other what I can say, they are spending more time on the freelancing part than their primary job. That would be the problem arise, I believe, that in the moonlighting, the terms which is popping it out. But in my concept, I feel that it is not a new one, but it whenever it is going to affect with the primary roles or primary responsibility which the employee currently holding, then the problem automatically kick-started here. So that is the issue, picking it up in moonlighting. In the corporate point of view, so everyone mentioned that which is related to salary, that would be people are doing moonlighting or so many things. If you take it in the law context, there is no there is no clear definition about this moonlighting. That is also we need to consider in that. Okay, explicitly they are not clearly in law. It's not clearly mentioned about either it is not prohibited or it is not allowed by the Indian law. That is clearly there. So okay, so it is like dual employment. As per the Indian law, it's prohibited, but in Indian law nothing was clearly defined about the moonlighting. That is also one thing we need to think into consideration. As Vivek mentioned, that unorganized sector, couple of people, those who are working in a very low level job, they are doing multiple jobs. If you ask me, some of the people who are doing car cleaning work, they are doing the car cleaning work in the morning front, and the other work they are completely doing a different job. So if you ask me, for 1 2 hours they are completely doing the car cleaning work for close to 50 to 60 cars within 2 to 3 hours time. Then after the 2 hours there, they will do the regular job. That is also possible. But when you come to the corporate level, and the pays are high, and even they are deliberately doing, which is affecting the primary job, that would be the big issue. That's why I'm in my view, I'm considering this as the moonlighting there.
Great. So while I have a few points, might be some counterpoints for you, but let us hear it from the entrepreneur, because it's a different place when we look at it from a professional perspective vis-a-vis how an entrepreneur looks at this issue. So Partha, what does moonlighting? How has life changed for you when you first heard the term moonlighting, and what was the one thing which came across your mind in terms of looking at your own structure, or would you be the first person to jump and say, yes, I will allow moonlighting?
I'll just take a step back. I mean, as an entrepreneur, you said, so I don't make conclusions. So I evolve as per how it goes. Okay, so that's how, I mean, while I have a directional view, but I don't have like a strict view on exactly how it should be done there. Now, I see it, and as Pandi Raja said, the legal, I see it as three things, three areas which need to be thought through and before we decide, and it will evolve. Okay, so one is the legal part. Whether government allows, I am not sure about that. About the Indian labor laws, I don't know about that. But contractually, you have entered into an agreement with a company, you cannot, do that. So should we change the contract there? I'm open to that, but I'm saying the contractual, legally you cannot work with competition, even share information, all those things. The second part is the ethical part of it. Now, ethical part, why I say is that, are you using company infrastructure? When I say company infrastructure, I don't mean that our physical office, the laptops, the mobile. Your company is also providing you health insurance, right? So would you say that only if I get hurt or go into medical emergency within 9 a.m. to 6 p.m., I will take the company insurance? Okay, you are taking those facilities there. Okay. And then you're working with someone else also at night. So there's some ethical things which you need to think about. And when I say you, as in like both the corporate and this, how do you structure it properly? And a third is purely the physical and the logistical thing. Okay. I I can't think about a task differently. Once my mind is in something, I can't think about something else. Now, if you're working on two different kind of projects or even similar kind of projects for two different end results, will you be able to provide that kind of effort into this thing, your mind into in your work there? As I think both Vivek and Paniraj said that your primary job is getting affected there. Now, so these three things has to be answered and has to be clear. Okay, how it is got to be resolved, and it has to be clear to both sides. As a freelancer, I think all the three things are taken care of. Contractually, you are not bound. You have to just provide whatever 2 hours, 8 hours, 6 hours, whatever you're contractually. You don't even, as a contractor, most of the time you don't even get a laptop or anything or health insurance and anything. Right? Ethical things also, it doesn't matter. Ethical means the legal thing. Only thing is you can't go for a work for a competition there. And physically, that's your call. I don't care. I just want your 4 hours with me, like an Uber driver or an Ola driver. You'll take both the two cars. Maybe he's okay. But I think these three factors, if there are answers and solutions to that, I am open to that. But at this stage, I think if someone's thinking about some other job, at least in the stage where we are as a company, I need our employees. We are about 200 employees. Right? I need our team to be all the time thinking, not just in 8 hours. Taking a shower to think. I'm not forcing anyone to do it, but it automatically comes, and I see that in the results. Okay, some of the employees who are there, who's like all the time, they come up with a brilliant idea and like just sending a WhatsApp. Hey, this is an idea. Let's discuss on Monday. This thing, but that idea would not come if they're not thinking about this in the back of their mind all the time. But yeah, that's my view, and I know you have a very differing view, so would love to learn from your view.
Yeah, great. I think it's great to know that the entrepreneurs are wanting to change, and I think it's very logical that an entrepreneur would want an individual to work for him or her 24/7, think about his or her company, and I guess what the employee looks at it, because the employee is now with this new term, with this new possibility, like we said, that this is a new term. Moonlighting, of course, is a new term, but it's been there and prevalent over a period of years. In most of apart, you take away IT, and then you look at this whole moonlighting as a solution. I guess in the arts sector, if you look at even films, entertainment, Ola, Uber, and you look at the servicing sector, it has been prevalent in most of these sectors and most of these industries. Is it time for India to start looking at different employment contracts? Because while employees and employers might want certain amount of work and certain amount of commitment, how is it that the corporate world needs to change from a contractual perspective for the employee's benefit? If at all I want to, as an employee, I have a skill set, I have a hobby, I want to be a musician in the night, I want to write a book in the night, I want to actually run my restaurant in the evening, I want to work, I want to do A, B, C, D jobs, which might be different. Is corporate India willing to allow me to do that? Now, I come back to you, Vivek, and just wanted to check with you. What is your take? Is corporate world ready to make those changes in their employment contracts?
I think it is again very premature to discuss that. A lot of things will change, like Partha pointed out. Are you as an employee looking for moonlighting, ready to accept an employer for 5 hours? You want your employer to take care of you 24 by 7. That needs a commitment from your side as well. I think if you look into the changes, no, a lot will change. A lot of this organized employment structures, those safety, security, all will go away. Then it is simple pay for your work, value for your work. You have given me 5 hours, you have delivered this value, I'll pay you for it. After these 5 hours, you spend 5 hours somewhere else, give the value there, take money from there. See, let's understand the employee-employer relation is not just for work. It's much more than that. When Partha says, I expect my employees to have those thoughts around that. I'm at the same time, he as an entrepreneur is also continuously thinking how I can make the life of these 200 people better. How do I grow the company in a way there's 200 people also grow? Now it's both sides. You are expecting an employer to think about you 24 by 7. You have to give that commitment to him as well. Now, I mean, yes, the laws can change. Corporates can. Freelancers are good, and that's a new economy. Gig economy is coming, I'm sure. Partha would also be using some. I use a lot of resources whenever I need. Okay, you come here, work with me for 10 days, you get paid for it. Period. The relation continues tomorrow. If I have more opportunity, I'll again invite you. But my responsibility ends with the project, and that's it's interesting to see how this turns out. But I'm sure if we are going to legalize this particular concept, there would be the things would change upside down. There would be a lot of changes. A lot of Kaustubh has just given a glimpse of a thought process of an entrepreneur. A lot will change. Second, again, if I see my view, you will not find people at all levels getting into moonlighting. But we are already filled too much. I'm not in a position to take, along with, I'm anyways giving more than 24 hours in a day to set up this business enablers. Now I do not have time to take up something else. So at what level it is happening? And that's where I'm saying it's too premature to today to think about the future of it. Just go back 6 months back. Work from home, work from home, work from home. Life will change, industry will change. Things are coming back to office. A lot of companies have changed. So I do not see too far beyond it, but yes, I still have my reservation on how far it will go. But yes, gig
Sorry,
economy will certainly, and that could be taken up.
sorry, Vivek,
Please.
and I sorry, Mr. Pandey. I'll just move back to Partha because there is a direct correlation. Partha, the employee-employee relationship has always been thought as a very transactional relationship, and today, all the more when you have attrition rates going up, you have people staying on with organizations, they're leaving organizations for money. Might as well, and then when you look at Vivek, who is a performance coach, you look at a performance parameter, you have a clearly drawn out performance matrix for every employee. If the employee delivers on those performance metrics, what is the harm of giving him this additional benefit? If the employee comes to you and says that, give me this, I think about you, I run my own music studio, let me run my own music studio in the evening, or I let me run my own restaurant in the evening. How does it impact you? It helps me ease out things, it helps me think better, it means it takes me off and relaxes me, and I can work 4 hours in my dad's restaurant and come back to you in the morning fresh with newer thoughts.
Interesting. But I slightly disagree on the first point. It's not a transactional. At least, see, the context where I am coming from, I'm coming from a company where people have grown from like 2 people to 200 people okay, over the last 7-8 years. I definitely don't look at a transaction. I'm not saying that just to say kind of thing. Okay. I believe we have been able to grow because of the extraordinary efforts put in by a lot of people. I'm not saying every person puts in that extra effort, but there are always those, 25% people who think and who think very creatively, goes beyond, and that will not happen in the 8 hours. That's like I'm traveling, I suddenly like something stuck, and then I talk. Otherwise, like who cares? I'm just just have to sign something or do something. I'll do that. So I don't think it's transactional in nature. Now, but we also have to see how the evolution of this has happened, right? My parents was lifetime job, right? We at least 20, yeah, it's 25 years when I started working. So 97 when I started. So for us, it was like as soon as I got into the job market, it was expected that at least 3-4 jobs I will be having in my career. At least 3-4 jobs there. So in the future, as already the gig worker, which is like few hours this company, few hours that company, every week something will happen and might happen there. Okay. But as of now, I think it is something which goes beyond transactional. Okay. And the effort, the extra effort is not physically being sitting there. Okay. That extra effort which is required is needed. It might change in the future. Now, how will I look at it? And as Vivek said, yes, we work with many freelancers, not many, maybe a few freelancers, where for multiple purposes. That person says that, no, I'm done with corporate life. I'm not going to work for any company. I'll just do freelancing. Okay. The second reason might be he's so costly, he or she is so costly that I can't afford 100% of his time. I'm fine. I mean, if you think about it, it's the money thing you want to earn, you go. I will just take 2 days of your weekly time. Okay. I do it. So we also do it. If those 3 points which I mentioned, the legal, ethical, and the physical, logistical part of it, if it is answered, I might be okay. And then it's a both side transaction, right? If the employee says that you are giving me only 1 lakh rupees a month, but I need 2 lakh for whatever circumstances in my life, I will have to work. And I think that guy is so valuable that I still have to work with him. Then I'm okay. So it all depends on the situation at that time, right? How badly it is needed. If it is if it's something which is very manual, I mean, not too much, it's very, what do you call, not a clerical kind of a thing, where just I need to come and put in 5 hours, just do it, then go. It's a different thing. Okay. So we'll have to see the situation by situation, but maybe some guidelines are required around that. Right now, if someone works freelancing in my company, I'll not look at it positively. Okay. Because you've got into a contract. You want to say that you have requirements, financial, maybe even learning needs, that whatever I am doing here is not enough. I need to learn more. Come, talk to us. If both sides agree, we get into a contractual agreement with you. But if I don't know and you're working with someone, whatever it works, I'll qualify the statement. It's not like whatever you work. You want to play music in the evening, fine, it relaxes you, go. You want to work in an NGO, go. Okay, a couple of hours or 1 day a week, go. Okay, maybe it relaxes you. It's really contextual there. So yeah, so I mean, but today if someone in my company works freelancing, it not be looked at positively. I don't know what my team members will say today on LinkedIn, but at least that is my point right now.
Great. So I think I come back to you now, Mr. Pandey, on a very interesting point that Partha just made, and it is on the engagement levels with the employees. And when I said about the transactional point, and I think he took it up very well. It was an emotional outburst from an entrepreneur who is emotionally connected. So now when you look at these kind of times when people are moving and they are talking moonlighting, they're talking several, engagement with the employee is extremely critical and important. So right. What is it that you think that how is that going to change or now because all the more, because we said while people were working in COVID times, people working from home, your engagement levels had to increase. How are you going to connect with people virtually? How are you going to have those engagement platforms connected? Now all the more. What is it? What is your thought process? How is it going to change? What is your expectation from the new HR leaders of today?
In my perspective, I always feel that identifying the fundamental cause of the problem is the best method to solve it. So the moonlighting, where the issue, as everyone mentioned, that not all the employees are interested to do moonlighting. Okay, there might be multiple reason behind that, because if you ask me, after this COVID-19, there would be an increasing of moonlighting. Okay, so if as an HR, in my perspective, when I have verified with a couple of industry people who are doing, they maybe take a freelance assignment kind of stuff. There are a couple of reasons behind that. So what I would say that the initial reason, if you ask me, there would be a too much of debit from the particular employee. Maybe the reason for one thing, they are lost job in that COVID period, and they have so much of medical reason on that time. So you don't have an option there. Once they got that opportunity again, they don't have an option. They need to solve those debit, and they are doing moonlighting kind of stuffs. As other people mentioned that the employees who's very passionate about doing things. If you ask me, one of my HR friend, he is very passionate to work as a DJ. So you just imagine there he's working in the morning and doing all the campus interviews, everything in the morning, and the late night he will do DJ in all the resorts and big hotels there. He's very familiar for both things. He's familiar for HR as well as he's doing DJ. So he wants to maintain the passion with them. So that is the reason he is managing both. Even the company also allow him. Even he has done some kind of program for his company also. So these are all the things. So we as a corporate perspective, we need to understand what kind of skill set or competency the people who are willing to do moonlighting, and what purpose they are doing it. Either it would be a purely related to passion, or anything, as I mentioned, that there would be a bad debate in them. And a couple of people, some people, they are very redundantly doing the same kind of job there. So that is also one of the big reason. If you ask me, I'm just saying that the couple of guys who was doing working with KPO company, they are doing lots and lots of documentation. People are doing too much of data entry work. They love to do something creative, right? So that is also one of the main reason they are doing a redundant job or same kind of job for a long time. They want to something different. They have creative. I know one guy who is a data entry operator. He loved to do filmmaking. He loved to do short films. He wants to do so much of movies in it. So after evening or after the shift time being over, he's more focusing on us doing the short film making and all. See, ultimately, as a corporate point of view, I'm in this time I'm not able to give a what I'm trying to say. It's do's and don'ts and all, not exactly, but it would be definitely case to case will vary. As an organization, we should encourage the passion of the employee, and as an HR, we need to understand that how their engagement level, or if there would be a redundant in the job description, we need to think of to give any cross-functional area to make them interest. And always we need to, because right now in the corporates, they have focus on financial wellness for that employee also. So that is also one of the key thing, or employee engagement, not only in the in terms of physical or mental wellness. Even the HR and the corporate, they are more focusing on financial wellness. They are trying to support in the financial wellness in terms of various aspects and various policies. So these are at a nutshell, what I'm trying to say, that it is purely the corporate decision. And that would be if you ask me, I have been working with multiple corporates there. If my primary job or the task which I assign to him as a primarily, it won't be effective. It won't issue. It won't face any issues. They are doing the job purely related to the passion, or anything which is related to their individual financial crisis. They are managing it. That would be then and there. It would be case to case. The company can take a decision on this moonlighting.
Great views actually. And Vivek, when coming to you and you spoke about companies pushing employees to come back to office, and we read it in newspapers that everybody now wants employees to come back to office. Employees still want to work from their hill station homes and second homes, and they want to actually. Employees are happy working and they are luring people to come back to office with various new policies. Do you think there is a trust deficit which has happened in the employee-employer relationship post-COVID, and hence there is this kind of a step being taken. Because otherwise, people would always go into office. Now suddenly you need to lure them with a lot more. So how is it that you look at these things which are happening? And again, my second question to you, again, Vivek, would be, what are the new engagement tools that the leaders of today, people leaders of today, wanting to need to look at to make sure that the employees are far more engaged with their organization?
I'll come with that engagement perspective alone. Employees are not ready to come to office. Companies have something serious to think about. I'm working from home. Given a chance, I would run to work from office because home has its own challenges. Despite of that, if employees are not willing to come back to office, there is something seriously wrong in your working environment, culture, whatever you say. There is something serious that you have to look into. It's not always the culture which may be bad, but yes, it is also because work from home has shown a good opportunity as well to a lot of them, taking gig assignments and doing. I'm not saying right or wrong, but yes, a new horizon has opened up, and people easily do not want to. These are some things which companies will also have to look into it. They cannot simply force people. They will have to attract people to come to office and contribute. Engagement. I mean, doing all these theatrics and drama and taking those out for outbound locations and dinners are not engagement. Let us accept it. By the night, it phases away. The real engagement is you'll have to involve your people in your decision making, and that is where these companies were lacking. And I have seen. I mean, I have spent 10 years of in my 25 years of career, I've only worked with two companies. Not because I didn't had an opportunity, but they were those so great companies. I never wanted to leave Tata's. Yes, I had to leave because at some point in time I realized their pay packages are really low, and they also accept it. And then I have spent nearly a decade with Tally, where no one wants to leave, and the reason is we were given that kind of a responsibility, and we were involved so much in the work that we were company's goal, company's vision was our vision, because we knew when company moves a step ahead, our life will change. And that is where the companies are missing this. They have to look how they can engage better with the employees. Believe me, no one wants to sit at home and do it. It is just an opportunity, and again, I repeat, it's too early to say. Let's understand who is wanting to go into it, and let us also understand the reasons for getting into it. For me, getting a low salary and I want a different job is not acceptable. But yes, all the examples, I want to be a DJ, I want to run a restaurant, no one questions you. A lot of us are doing it. A lot of us professionals, after the office, don't we go and start teaching people and spreading a lot of them. LinkedIn is full of such motivational speakers, by the way. They spend good 8, 9, 10 hours in the office, and then they are back at LinkedIn spreading motivation and vibes, and no one objects to it. The real objection comes when you are doing the same job somewhere else. That's where the ethical point of what Partha raised, why are you picking up that? So coming back to the question, I'm sorry I got digressed a bit. Companies will have to seriously look into this engagement thing, and involve people so much that they realize the importance, because office is not just office going there. It has its own engagement, it has its own excitement, and it certainly boosts up your productivity. Even a software developer wants to interact with others. Everything cannot be done on the comfort zone. कि ठीक है, city like Bangalore, traveling 2 hours from one side and then traffic and pain. So companies giving facilities, no? Sleep in the cab for 2 hours before coming to office. Why are you so much bothered about it? Some things are, yes, you can do it, but for everything else, you have to come back to office. You have to interact and engage with others. So again, companies will also have to look in how they engage people well, and this engagement is a real engagement. How you involve them in their work, how you involve them in their decision making, and that I have been doing and preaching this for years when it comes to performance. Moonlighting is also giving, or all these engagement tactics are again coming back. There are employees who wants to go back to office. They're willing to shift to other cities to go back to office. They are willing to go back there because it has its own craze. But if your employees are not coming back, look at your workplace. There is something missing in it, and that companies need to look at it. Allowing you to work elsewhere is not a solution. As long as it's a strategy, and I have been in my early stages of my career. I was working with DGR, and where Indian Army was, officially doing it. The army officers were given an opportunity to learn something so that after the retirement they can take up an alternate employment. Their dependability comes in. So if that is the case, I don't think any corporate will mind allowing you to invest some time into an activity that is good for your future or your alternate career. Companies would be, skeptical when they see, because you are trying to become a competitor, and again, the ethical part of it. So to me, company needs to look at the engagement model, how you involve people in the work, and that would be a good start to bring back people in the office. And as a person building a business here today, it's very small. Tomorrow, inshallah, it will grow, and it would be bad on my part if I see my people are not getting enough money and they want some additional work. So allowing them would again, be kind of hurting me. So there's a lot of thing that I need to look at as a corporate or as an entrepreneur towards it. Ki why at all is this needed? So again, I go back where I started. What is the purpose of it? And why suddenly after the work from home this moonlighting popped up? We never heard about it. So unless we get into the basics of it, we can keep discussing things.
Partha, I'll come back to you, but let me just go to a very interesting point which Vivek just brought in, and I'll just get Pandi's view on this. Is engagement of employees, and there was a very interesting survey which came out which said only 23% of people are engaged for more than 6 hours in a day in a corporate environment. Now, when we look at a corporate, and this came out of one of the top big fours, and it says that 23% of the people are engaged only beyond 6 hours. Rest all are, most of it are engaged at the workplace only for 3 to 4 hours, and that's the average. So, which means 50% of the time, the organizations or the people, you don't know what they're doing. So, how would you, as an HR leader, look at this as an opportunity? And what is it that you would make sure that how will you engage your employees further up and I don't know, because everybody, it is a very defensive question for a HR leader, because the first thing that नहीं हमारे company में नहीं होता, बाकी सही कहीं होता होगा, but not in my organization. My organization, everybody works 8 hours. But I guess it is something which is a phenomenon that we know, that people, there is a 4 o'clock break, 3 o'clock break, 12:30 break, and all those things breaks. Everything is there. So, what is your take? Because why I'm coming back, because in these times of moonlighting, in these times of work from home, uh, it is extremely important for an HR department to now stand up and think differently. What is your point of view on this?
So, my point of view of the companies, how they are maintaining in the project management tool or allocating the particular task to the employees, how they are monitoring tool, it would be that would be purely it's generically I'm not able to say that all the companies have disengagement, or some of the companies don't, the employees have more free hours. So it is purely depends on the company, and how their kind of business, and what kind of output, and how about their the task completion of the individual. See, the mainly, if you ask me, in the corporate front, how we support the corporate supposed to prevent data loss despite of moonlighting, that would be the main concept we need to focus on the corporate front. So nowadays, there are, you just imagine the same thing, you can think it in the COVID scenario. If we are giving a proper infrastructure also, there are some disengagement with the initial stages. I believe that there is a lack of tools there, so there continuously there would be a lack of disengagement there within the employees. So you just imagine, for the COVID period, 2 years, there are the good companies, they have done a very good profit making in terms of productivity, and completing their task, the individual task. They have done some good performance appraisal, those things are there. So in my perspective, generally the tool management, how you are engaging the employee using the tool, starting from the allocation of work, and the monitoring tool, everything need to be streamlined, and it's supposed to be properly monitored in such a way with the leaders. That is one thing I can assure you, that we can control this disengagement. And in my view, apart from that, see how we suppose the corporate supposed to engage more with an employee, is not only related with the salary and other stuffs. You supposed to support the employee, and as well as you need to listen the employee queries. That is also one of the queries or ideas, whatever it may be. So that is also one of the important perspective, the employees are feel there. Okay, the employees are valued in the company. So how you make the employee valued, that is also, it's one of the point of engagement in my view there. Because not only, I don't want to discuss everything, it would be related to the technical related stuff. Because we are all discussing about the trust between the relationship between the employee and the employer, how we supposed to build trust, those kind of stuff is very, very important. So how you are valuing an employee, how you are creating the career path for that employee, how you are giving financially, or as well as your career wise, how you are giving a roadmap to that employee. So these are all matters. So these are all the matters definitely will avoid the moonlighting part. Even how you are doing a proper salary analysis in the industry wise, then how you are benchmarking the salary for your current employees who are working with the company, the cross functional learning, as well as your structured growth way, how about your succession planning structure in such a way. These are all the thing we can apart from disengagement, I believe that these are all the value added points we can control in the moonlighting segment. And technically, if you ask me, as I mentioned, that prevent data loss, it is one of the main thing it's happening in the moonlighting segment. If you ask in the IT industry, so I would always recommend it would be a virtual desktop infrastructure. It would be VDI. That is one of the important structure, because most of the companies, they are keeping all the codes related, or any company related important confidential data in those environment. So the employee can access only through this virtual desktop infrastructure. That is the technical way of controlling the moonlighting. Because as per my knowledge, because when we are discussing with couple of our HR friends how we can control it in technically, so these are all the input which I got it from there. So these are all the multiple ways. I always believe that how you are valuing the employee, how you make importance of the employees to the company, these are all the easiest way to control moonlighting and increasing the engagement with an employee in terms of valuing the employee. That will give a very good output, and it will definitely controlling the moonlighting part.
So, Partha, I think good points, the career management, reward management, and several engagement initiatives that you spoke about, Mr. Pandey. Partha, in this new, era when employees have options, when people are exercising options, what would be your ask from your HR manager in terms of what would an entrepreneur look at from an HR? What is the expectation that one has from an entrepreneur's point of view, from the HR manager, to make sure that the employees are far more engaged and they don't get into several other activities, including moonlighting.
See, I'll speak from my context, okay, where we are this size, and I'm pretty sure this will vary from industry as well as the size of the company or the stage of the company is, right? So, in our state, what I would expect is to engage the employees. I think it has been alluded to by Vivek and Pandey also on that. The overall vision or mission, okay, what are we trying to do? Doing some meaningful work. What is the bigger vision? Don't just go and write a piece of code. What is it trying to solve? Okay, overall, what is it that will make them excited about doing the work? In our case, for example, Kaustubh, as you would know, we are all. I am in Delhi, but the rest of the company is in Guwahati, Assam. Right? We have 200 people or 200 odd people there. It's almost a what do you call underdog. We are underdog, okay, in this, and we are winning global contracts there. So that excitement of that we sitting in a small town in India, not even Bangalore or Delhi or any place, in able to beat that. So it's like a bigger purpose for them. I tell that think about Bangalore in early 80s when Narayan Murthy started it. I'm in no way trying to compare myself to the great people like that, but I'm just saying, what do those first set of people feel about Infosys today or Wipro today? The first set of 100, 200,000 people. Okay, what do they feel about? That's the bigger purpose. Okay, doing some meaningful work. We're creating an ecosystem there. So the first ask from my HR point of view to my HR is like actually communicate it. Sometimes when we keep getting on a day-to-day operations part, we forget to communicate the bigger vision to employees. I think that communication to the team about our bigger purpose has to be clear. That is one part. Second, I think is the basics, meaning that hygiene factors. Okay, pay the right amount of salary. I'm pretty sure a lot of people will say that we don't pay a good salary, but that's a complaint for every company, I guess. The hygiene factors, security infrastructure, okay, the facilities in the office. These are basics. Women employees, okay, working in the evenings, okay. So for example, when we started, we had Saturdays working, but once we got stabilized about a year back, we said, okay, no Saturdays working now. Okay, we'll evolve to that kind of thing. So I'm saying the basic facilities and policies should be in place there. Okay. Wellness, I might not feel the need of a mental wellness, but different people need it. Okay, so please get in those kind of tools which are there, which can help the employees in doing that thing. So I think the base. So first was the communicating the overall vision of the company. The second is the basic hygiene factors. At this stage, I would expect HR to do this. Down the line, if we grow very big, then there are other factors also come into play. Okay, the HR has to take care of a lot of engagement activities which are there. So those will come in. But at this stage, I think this is would be my ask from the HR. These two things.
Great. Vivek, some closing comments on this, because not only moonlighting but a general, because the future of HR is different than what we currently are going through. Because HR is in the changing times will have a seat on the table in the boardroom, and it definitely should have one even now. But the times are changing. What would be your final comments and an advice to the new age HR managers, especially from an employee perspective? Because the textbooks in the management schools today are the same that you and me read 20, 30 years back. So the textbooks have not changed, but the practicality needs to be different. So when the HR manager qualifies and comes to the ground, I think he or she needs to be aware about few things, and they are looking up to leaders like you to actually tell them about or guide them about few things which are expected. So your ending comments, Vivek.
Certainly, there is a huge change. HR that was there till yesterday and HR that is there today is different than what is going to be in future. And I keep saying, and this is where I say, no, HR has to change the mindset. We have to move from that monitoring people and looking for the efficiency in work, and we have moved from there to mentoring people and making them more productive and giving them more power and decision to work on it, and that will bring a huge change in HR. So far the mindset was, see whether this person comes at 9 in the morning, works till 6 in the evening, spends half an hour more. It's not about number of hours. When you set engagement for 6 hours, I think it is good enough an engagement. Out of 8 hours, if someone is engaged for 6 hours, good enough. Give 2 hours for self learning. I have been promoting e learning and doing this. Believe me, employees have no time to read it. So 2 hours, let us have fun. So now that's the approach of HR has to change. We have to handhold these people. We have tremendous talent with us. Moonlighting, again, I have a very strong opinion against it, but yes, I may be wrong, but yes, to me, I see it as an opportunity, and it's opportunity because somewhere you are failing in your work. You are not just a master sitting and making people work. You have to involve with them and see how they contribute. So, like Partha said, are these people thinking about my vision? Am I mentoring them well? Am I grooming them well? And that's the role of HR. Other administrative thing, there are enough tools. Vantage has created some tool. There are other companies which are creating tools, and they will do a better efficient work than humans. So let us do what we are doing best at. Let us monitor people. Let's mentor people, guide them, and help them grow. And I'm sure with this kind of engagement, a lot of talks of moonlighting should come down. Moonlighting is not just go out and make more money. It's about utilizing your time well, and that's where we as an HR, which is more of an independent body in the organization, have to be unbiased and look at see how we can involve and encourage people. So
Great.
so that's where
Some passing
Mhm.
remarks from you, Mr. Pandey. We've got hardly 30 seconds left, so I would just encourage that.
Yeah, in my view, there everything is transforming in all the process in HR, business progress, everything. So even in the moonlight, also we don't want to take any straight away conclusion about that moonlighting. It's right, wrong, or we can go with that. So I would suggest what are the way it's going now. How we are adopting things depends on the situation. We can do that. That's the way I can conclude it. Yeah.
And from you, Partha, some passing
No, I
remarks.
totally agree with Pandey and Vivek. Right? It's an evolving space. We shouldn't jump to any conclusions right now. I think a lot of gray areas are there. It's not like a strong objection to moonlighting or it should be this way or that way. All the factors need to be analyzed, Okay, and it totally depends on the context. I think. Okay, some jobs allow this, some jobs don't allow. When I say allow, isn't like it allows the flexibility to do that kind of thing, not administratively,
Correct.
but just the role is like that. Okay, I think we'll just have to evolve on it, and then my minds are open. Okay, as I said, today I don't want it. Who knows? The situation is need, demand, and supply kind of thing, right? More, I might say no. Yeah, that's what my thoughts are.
So thank you so much. Thank you so much, gentlemen, for a very engaging discussion. And we definitely didn't have a script to this, and it was very exciting to learn and know about your opinions. And I hope our audience have had a wonderful time listening to you guys, because there were some profound thoughts which came through it. I'm sorry we couldn't take too many questions from the audience, as we ourselves got talking, but I guess it was very engaging. The conclusion that I draw from here is that moonlighting is a new phenomena. It's been there for ages, but only thing is it's come into light after COVID, when people are, and it's a new terminology. We are still getting used to this. We are now, but while from an entrepreneur's perspective, it is a phenomena which we are still learning. We don't mind changing our thought process over a period of time. We are not averse to it, but we want to have a structure to this whole phenomena. So I guess from an employee's perspective, a great opportunity, but we need to have freedom within framework. And thank you so much for being a great audience. Thank you so much to our speakers. It was wonderful engaging with you. Thank you.
Thank you, Kaustubh.
Thank you so much, Kaustubh.
Thank you. Bye bye.
Bye.
Thanks. Bye bye.